Okay, we're putting it down right now.
That's the whole point.
Say the date, guys.
June 13th. July.
We dating? It's a whole story. We actually dated 3 years ago. We dated 3 years ago, broke it off, and then tried again.
I know a couple in
Best way.
Oh, yes. We have contempt law.
But it's equal now, like, it's actually
I'm ready. Should we start with question number 1?
Yeah, what's that?
Tefillah class number 4. Question number 1. Okay? So let's start with Isabella. Can you read question number 1?
Oh, define makom kavua?
Makom kavua, yeah. Makom kavua is a Hebrew term. It's Hebrew word. Anyone knows what this means?
Like central place, something place.
Close to the place, but it means designated place. Designated for tefillah place. Designated for prayer place. We mentioned that one should have a designated place for prayer in the house, in the shul, in the office, wherever at work, wherever you are. If you're praying, they should have a designated place. Now, number 2. Let's go to Tanya first.
What is the criteria for makom kavua?
Right. In other words, what should designated place have?
No distractions.
Fresh air.
Yes. Number 1A, it should not have distractions right now. In other words, right now there's no noise. Right now there's no disturbing things, whether it's people, whether it's talking, whether it's music, whatever is distracting you, it doesn't there. Number 2, it's not going to have distractions for the duration of your prayer in the future.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
We need 5. Tefillah class number 4.
so that I think, right? That would be right.
I have 5 more of those. Oh. Okay, the next one
What
is
we need right now is this, yeah.
that one.
Okay. For those who don't have, please take this. This will, this they have.
How do we forge a relationship with also?
Yeah.
So am I missing any or have everything?
Yeah, right now, they're gonna take that.
Last one for
Oh, no,
forge a
you-
relationship.
you
I
have
did,
that?
yeah.
Okay, let's see.
So this.
No takers?
I have
I need that one.
Yeah.
So that's one.
Okay.
And, you know, I need the
I'm
one I
missing
just
how do
gave
we
you.
forge a
Yeah,
relationship.
forge relation with Hashem. Yes.
That's it? Otherwise I'm good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, what I
Okay.
miss?
So we, so Dr. Fay, just for you.
Yeah,
we
please,
just
thank you.
answered question number 1 and 2. Question number 1 was define Malkam Kavua.
Okay, I know.
And we said that it's designated for tefillah per place. What is the criteria for Malkam Kavua? So it has 3 criteria. A, it doesn't have, what did we write? No distractions right now.
At the start of the prayer.
At the start of the prayer. 2, it's not going to distract, there's not going to be distraction in the future.
Can't find that.
Very often you can't really predict it. Yes, you're right. There could be unexpected guest coming in or something would happen, the child would wake up. But nothing expected. Let's say you have a meeting at 12 p.m. Don't start praying 11:59 because people are going to start coming into the room. Okay. Numbers and C, it should be clean and a non-smelly place. Meaning there's bathroom, garbage, toilet, something like that. It has to be clean and non-smelly place because that's also distracting. And there's halacha that there shouldn't be garbage when you pray.
Can I
Yes,
ask a strange question?
please.
But it's definitely related when you're on the train. So now you wear a mask, or a mask, so you don't really smell. But sometimes it smells in the train. Like I pray on the train, because that's my only time to pray. But like, I can't smell, but I know it's
I
sometimes smells in the
see,
train.
I see. In the actual train or in
Yeah.
the station?
No, in the train, like
In the
in the
train
side
itself?
of the car. Smelly person.
So you have
Or a
to,
smelly person or whatever. Like someone
Or
walks in.
so
But a train is so
you have to make a judgment call.
Go
to the next
If
train
there
car.
is a
I'm gonna
real
have to
smell of
smell.
urine or something other like that, then you can't pray.
Even if you have a mask on.
Even if you have a mask on, yes.
You know there's a bad smell, you can't smell it?
There's urine
No, no, I'm saying there is urine and
Yeah,
smell.
so you can't pray with a dirty baby diaper.
Not
on.
body, urine.
That's very distracting. I see my concentration.
We can't ban she
That's fine.
I'm like, you have clearly.
Yes.
Does it mean like not clutter? Because clutter distracts me, but my whole house.
No, that's not
There's
clutter.
like, I document my dining room table. There's stuff in it, like
No, I meant clean, like there's no real dirt that smells.
like dirt, but not like.
Not disorder or anything.
Oh.
Like a dead skunk.
You're gonna have to get rid of that dead
Okay,
stuff.
so no, right?
Okay,
Fine.
let's go on. Number 3, Yana, please.
Why should a person pray only in a makom kavua? So that you can focus on your prayer and have
Yes.
true
It's most conducive for
kavana?
Kavana. Excellent. Thank you
Can I
very
just
much.
ask a question on that?
Yeah.
How hard should you fight, or how much emphasis has to be put on that? Like, if for whatever reason your makom kavua is not available that day, then is it, you shouldn't pray? Or let's say someone else is standing there and praying, you should kick him out? Like, how important is the makom kavua compared to other priorities?
This is a question. Makom Kavua is also not, it could be a place that's also doesn't have distractions, that is clean. Another place in the house is also possible.
But it's not your.
It's not
regular
your
place.
most common place where you pray, but it's also a good place to pray. That's fine.
Oh, okay, so it's not that.
Also within 4 or more 8 feet from Makom Kavua, it's also considered to be like you are in your designated place. Jewish law allows for 8 feet, you know, for Dal Thomas. What else? Any, no,
What if like your schedule is not stable and you're different, you don't have like a stability that this is where you are. You're different places and you have to do it within a certain time, like especially Shachrit, right? And in the mornings before the time, because the time is like non-negotiable, you're at different places.
Then it's also fine. And the main thing is to
It's
pray.
like most of
The
the
Makom
time.
Kavua is ideal way to pray.
Ideal.
But it doesn't mean that if you don't have Makom Kavua, you don't pray. Yes.
So to add on to that, thank you so much for asking that question because I have no stability in my life. So is that secondary?
Yes, correct. So let's go on. I think Yana was supposed to be reading.
Can I just
Question
one more
number.
thing?
Oh, we
What
did
about
number.
outside, it's
Yeah.
okay? Like outside, outdoors.
In nature.
Outdoor only if you're traveling, if it's extraordinary, extraneous situation, but not normally.
Really?
You have to- you should-
Because I mean, now you
No.
can't stand, like when you're in your
Be-
car,
Best
like
pray
on a
inside.
train.
No, not
So
at
we
all.
can't pray in nature, like outside with God's creation and nature.
Only if you're in a camp and it's something that's conducive to prayer, everyone is doing it. Yes.
Seriously?
But halachically speaking, person should pray.
So it's my backyard.
indoors.
What if it's noisy inside the home?
Some people are more peaceful in nature. I like it better outside.
Yes.
How about balcony?
Yeah?
Alex always goes outside.
No?
Maybe so.
Oh, well, truthfully, there is some logic to it because backyard balcony is a place where you out, you know, it's open because you have to see things. You want to be able to look out. So therefore, it'll be distracting somewhat.
But I
Yes.
heard there were these like rabbis, or maybe one of them was Nachman or Breslau, or some people who actually go into the woods to
His,
talk to
oh, his
Hashem
both of
and pray.
those she's talking about.
Yes, it's true. It's true. They're talking about his bodedut, which means solitary meditation on God. Thank you very much. But we're talking about prayer, a very fixed
be
prayer,
inside
where
yourself.
every word, it doesn't come spontaneously from your heart, but you're supposed to direct your kavana to each word. That's when you're supposed to have that very confined and special place. Yes.
So this happens all the time. So if I'm traveling and on the road and I pull over like at one of those stops, right? I can either daven in the car, but I can't stand up because I'm sitting, or I can do like the proper amidah, like standing, like outside of my car, whatever. Like it's better to sit in your.
Do you mean to ask, is it better to pray in the car sitting or stop and pray on the side of the road standing?
Not on the side of the road, but
Like a
like
rest stop.
no, like a rest, like a safe place, like by your car, like quiet, like.
Yeah, standing is always better than sitting.
But it's outside, so it's better.
Yes.
Speaking of cars,
He said the
outside.
exception of like if you're traveling or somewhere.
Standing is better than sitting.
So don't
Yes.
stop.
So we're supposed to pray in the same spot ideally every day? Or like
Right.
like we're,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes,
Rabbi.
So I mean, my friend kind of answered this, but maybe she was wrong. But you live
What was
in a
that,
New York
important?
City apartment, right? And she said that I can pray in my bedroom if everything is like neat and you know the beds are made. Because I can't really pray in the living room, like you know.
Yeah, me.
I'm just saying like.
Bedroom's
that-
okay.
It's
Bedroom's
okay.
fine.
Even if your bedroom is completely messy.
No.
Now you're pushing it.
Oh,
Yes,
there's
yeah.
no
Yeah.
dead skunks or dirty diapers.
So you're in the corner.
Yes, her own dirty diaper.
Okay, let's go on. Number
Hire me first.
You were just
Four.
looking for me.
4.
No, because I can't.
We are moving on. Dr. Fair, can you
okay.
please read number 4?
Yes. What is the halacha regarding one who prayed next to a baby that has a dirty diaper?
Yeah, very common occurrence.
Let's specify your baby or someone
Maybe
else.
it's a daddy.
A baby has dirty diaper, and we just prayed next to them. The halacha is that the prayer is invalid.
What?
And the one has to re-pray, daven again. Can you imagine?
The entire Shacharit?
Whether it's not a tashkarit, tefillah shmoni esrei. Where, in other words, the halacha is that it's asur, prohibited to pray next to a human, waste, and a baby that is able to eat solid foods or whatever they produce is prohibited, and we're not allowed to pray next to it.
What if it's
If
started?
a baby is a very newborn baby.
Wait, so if you're in the middle of Amidah and you smell a baby has a diaper, you have to stop?
Yes, you have to stop there.
Wow.
Change the baby
Oh.
and start over.
No
Or can
way.
you walk away?
Remind me not to
Just
train
give the baby
class.
to your husband.
No, not.
Husband, change it.
Just give it to
So we're gonna discuss more of this. Let's move on. Number 5,
Eliana.
Eliana.
Practically, what do we do regarding diapers before we start praying?
Okay, so practically speaking, yes. What did you say, Eliana?
Check.
To check the diaper. Thank you very much. We must check the diaper of the baby before we start praying.
It's not good.
Better do, I don't know.
Number 6, we're going to
Assuming that we're
Mrs.
only the
Mausha.
ones changing the diapers.
Men's don't even
Wait,
smell.
number 5 was changed it before?
Check.
Check.
Check the diaper. Check.
I'm
The
doing
diaper.
it.
I would say
Yes.
just change the.
What must one do before praying Shemona Esrei?
Okay.
Make sure that it's clean, like check.
So we know the place is clean, the diaper is clean. There is one thing that we have to do with our body, and that is to wash our hands.
Oh.
Like 3 times, right?
With a cup, 3
With a cup?
You mean
interchangeable.
In between Shema and Amidah?
No, Shacharit doesn't apply. That you're making it before Shacharit, before Baruch
Before
Shema,
praying.
before prayer. But we're talking about if a person is just praying Shemona Esrei, Mincha, or Rabbi, then we have to wash our hands.
Is there a bracha or you just wash your hands?
No, no bracha.
Okay.
Is washing enough or you need to do 6 times?
6 times, 1, 2.
Wow, I did not know any of
There's
those.
only in the morning, isn't it
That's what you do
also
when
in the
you wake
afternoon?
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So you do it twice.
Twice, yeah.
I think you always said
Okay.
No,
He's saying if you pray
saying
even
you
more
pray.
You wait, you wash your hands again?
To
6
pray.
times? Before
Again,
you pray?
after what?
Oh.
Without the bracha.
Don't you wake up and then wash your hands and?
Yes, but he's saying if you say mincha, you have to say it, you have to wash it.
If
If
you're
you do
praying
anything in
right
the
after you
evening,
woke
It's not
up,
bracha, right?
if you pray very close to the time you woke up, which means that you washed your hands not long ago,
When you got
then it's
changed.
fine. But if you're praying later, and meanwhile in between you change the papers, the
Or
baby's
your own
diaper,
clothes, or you
and
put your
this
shoes
and that,
on?
then you have to specially wash hands.
Just
Wait.
wash hands, no,
But no bracha.
This is just for Shakrit or for?
Minchas also.
1 second, so when men go to I'm just thinking, when men go to shul
Yeah.
on Shabbat or whatever, they go to shul, they come into shul and they wash in shul?
Yeah.
They come in and they go first wash? Because I know in workplaces, they all the time, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a man, I'm just thinking, like, they all the time, like, if you work in an office building, like, they organize, you know, minyan in here, you know, in our office at whatever time, right? I've never seen, like, I don't know, in an office,
You've never
somebody
seen
come
it, doesn't
in.
mean it's not being
Yeah,
done.
maybe
Not
I've
to
never
wash
Maybe they just do it so
bathroom.
quickly, because there's no bracha.
What?
you
Really?
can, you can't say the
It
bracha.
depends if you have the
And they go
bathroom or
you can do it in
sink
the bathroom,
right,
you're not saying a
right in
bracha,
that
they
room.
can just wash
So
their
they
hands
always
and leave the
go,
bathroom.
people go and wash before they show up because they were doing business.
They have to
were
make sure
doing
that their
washing
hands are
their
clean, yeah. And there's a concept that the hands very often get dirty, so
Yeah.
that's why there is a fixed in washing of the hands before Shemana.
So when they come to the house.
Mandated
So when people come
washing.
to, but what about when they come to shul, like let's say in Shabbat? They don't like, they woke up at home, they washed, they walk to shul, but on the way to shul, they see people, they shake hands, doesn't, right? Like,
Just shaking someone's hand does not make your hands dirty.
no, but they touch door, like,
They
I don't
wash
know.
their
It's more like dirty,
We're talking about touching.
contaminated, like dirty things, like that.
Yeah, there are things, and men learn this halacha. Basically, if you touch covered body, or part of the body that's usually covered, you touch your shoes, if you touch dirt,
Oh,
your
that's
hands
why
are
they have the
physically dirty.
shoehorns.
Then you have to, yeah, you have to wash your hands. You walk into the bathroom, come out, you have to wash
You know that plastic
wash
bag
hands.
you put it back in your foot, in the back of your shoes, like slide in your shoe.
Thank you.
With a cup, with a cup. You don't have a cup, you've used the sink, but really,
I mean,
the
they
cup,
are practical.
Drink cup is also.
What was your
Yes?
Or say
If
like,
you're
can you
praying
pray in
Shachrit,
pajamas,
right,
can
and
you pray
you-
while wearing an
you
apron?
finish
Can
Shema,
I can't wait to
and
know.
then suddenly you smell the dirty diaper or there's a smell in the room or whatever. Are you allowed to call and tell somebody else to take care of it?
No, you're not allowed
The
to.
apron thing is
No.
kind of, you're already anticipating that you're going to
Right,
go
so then-
right after, so that might
What do
take
you
some of
do?
your
You go change it.
focus
Like,
off
Right,
of the
it's
praying,
like a
because
little
it's
Knock
kind
it
of
out, straight
preparing
in the
for
room.
So
most
you
of
say-
Shabbat during Shabbat. I feel like
So
that's
the no
Join us.
Right, we're gonna have a discussion on
I
that,
have another question.
on interruptions like that, yes.
Oh, baby.
What about in general, when you're like either davening or like benching, right? Let's say you're at a table in the dining room. Is the bathroom, not a smelly bathroom, but on the same floor there's a bathroom. Is the bathroom door allowed to be open or does it have to be fully closed? I always wonder, I always make people like, you know what I mean? There's like a bathroom.
Good point. It's
not-
allowed to be open unless there is a foul smell coming out,
It's okay, the bathroom door is open.
but it's allowed to be open.
I have the same
Oh.
thing, the door has to be closed.
I just-
I feel like, sometimes,
It's unsanitary.
but I don't know if it's,
So it's not okay, it's okay if it's like a
Yes,
little.
if it doesn't smell, which usually doesn't smell, it's allowed to be. Okay, I think we're ready to move on. Mrs. Dolgan, please read number 6, number 7.
What should a person wear when praying? So we need to make sure everything is covered that needs to be covered. And I remember reading in a book that you have to picture that you're gonna be standing in front of Hashem.
Oh, so because you're standing in front of Hashem, you have to be wearing presentable clothing.
what's presentable?
That's a halacha?
It's a halacha, yeah.
No
We're
people.
gonna read-
Every day you don't wear Shabbat
Well,
clothes.
I mean,
That's a hard
one.
What does that mean?
That's why
What
I'm
does
a
that
king,
mean?
I wouldn't wear anything that I have, I'd have to go buy something new.
Okay, no, we're not going that far. We're not going that far. We're gonna see now, question 8 and 9 are going to shed some light on this, yes?
What about like footwear? Because sometimes
Yeah.
like when I'm home, I'm not putting on shoes now. Like I'm
Without the cheer, okay.
It's a good question.
That's my biggest one.
That's a big shock. Yeah.
Wait, why shoes?
It seems to me that maybe it's better to wear,
Like shoes
to
and
be barefoot even without any, any shoes, rather than slippers,
Really?
because at least in Bet Mikdash, for example, in the temple, they would serve Hashem without shoes. Moshe Rabbeinu would have to take off his shoes when he spoke to God. But slippers, they look a little bit like not presentable.
It has to be on the carpet.
Yes, correct. Correct. Okay. Let's listen to Isabella.
I learned in seminary that Cohen said that you can daven barefoot, but it has to be on carpet. You cannot be on the bare floor.
Okay.
You're not on the
Barefoot with socks or barefoot?
No, it's not barefoot.
Socks, I think, help you in this verse.
Like you say,
Socks are okay.
Wait, so there's no carpet socks?
No conversation
Carpet socks?
Ask you, as far as slippers are concerned, I do not want to make the final call. You could ask the rabbis and make that decision. I know it's a hard thing. I personally do not, don't feel that it's presentable.
So in your house, I know you don't work in street shoes, you put on shoes when you come in the home?
Either I put on shoes, or if I have to pray at home and I don't want to put on shoes, I pray in my socks. Just like I feel, just like Moshe Rabbeinu.
You're not putting on the Crocs or whatever.
I don't pray in my socks.
I don't have carpet.
So are you praying in socks?
Put on shoes.
Wait,
Put on shoes.
get a little carpet, then try to
Put on
Amazon.
shoes. By the way. I'm gonna put the discussion on slippers on hold. We're gonna come back to it maybe after we ask Kim. You could ask other rabbis.
You can ask.
Let's move on. Question number 8. We're going to Elena.
Can one pray in pajamas?
Will you answer?
I guess no.
No. Thank you very
Nice,
much.
what about nice pajamas?
Also no.
What about the Shabbos robe on top of pajamas?
Well, Shabbos robe.
But pajamas, like,
Yeah,
That's
but you have
sweet.
to take off.
yeah, like the stuff.
Yeah, Shabbos robes I think is fine because it looks beautiful.
Back in the day, women would
Yeah, they buy a
No
fine
idea.
nice.
Let's go on number 8, Yafa. 9.
It costs
It's
more
just
money
one
than
answer.
dress.
wearing an
Yeah.
apron.
8 points for saying no.
You put your shots on pajamas?
That's what I just asked.
An apron is not.
No.
Yeah.
No, what if you're in the kitchen cooking a whole day and you want to daven mincha?
Take it off your apron.
Take it
Take
off
off
your
your
apron.
apron.
It's not
Have
that
to take it
hard.
off?
Maybe it's the most
It's easier to take the same out than burn your shoes.
So we asked last time, I wasn't sure, what about for married women hair cover?
Alright,
That's next question. Question number 11, Julia.
Number 10.
Can a woman
What's that?
pray with her hair covered?
Can she?
No.
Married.
Yes. Can the married woman pray with her hair? No.
No.
Never.
Why?
Baseball cap?
Not
Because
even
it's not
brachot,
sneer.
right?
I guess it's fine. You
Does it have to be something you'd wear outside?
Oh, no. It has to just cover your head. It doesn't have to be that something
Wear
that
a
you wear.
kippah?
No, it doesn't cover your hair.
Be my guest.
No, keep it like cover your head.
Because you very little
As long as they don't put on tefillin. All right.
Wait, next question. It's very interesting. Wait, the apron, you have to just take, you cannot.
No, we don't want to feel it. There is no.
I can imagine.
Bracha?
It's
I can
different. 2
imagine.
seconds. On
No,
time.
Let's see. You're right. Even bracha. Any bracha. This is not just
If
feeling.
you do this like some men do,
I guess so. Sometimes we do. That's why the women wear protection. Let's go on. Let's not discuss every halacha in all possible details. And I once saw someone put on something, we don't need to discuss. Let's go on, number 11. We go to Mazal.
Oh,
What's the halacha?
Oh, there's an orange there.
Regarding covering for hair during prayer.
Okay, this is a little bit touch halacha. Now,
I just told her.
Sephardi poskim hold that unmarried woman also has to cover her hair when she prays or even makes a bracha.
Oh, that's why.
Ashkenazi poskim say that no. However, the prevalent practice today for all women, all girls, not women I should say, girls, not to cover their hair when they pray or say prayer.
so it is, but
Not to.
generally, but it's
So
not
basically,
done.
Sephardi say to cover the hair, Ashkenazi say not cover hair, but
The
overall,
Yeah, all
But nobody
girls
does that.
today, all Jewish girls don't cover their hair.
Is it
make it
because
legal,
the
like,
foreign
like,
living
all
Muslims
don't
legalize?
You can't fight it.
Sephardi traditionally covered, but Sephardi traditionally in general covered from honest.
Okay, number 13, we go to Elvina.
12. 13.
one was 12.
12.
A woman is in the middle of Shemona Esrei and her children is disturbing her. Is she allowed to gesture or make sounds to come
Shushing sounds
sounds to come
to calm her down. Right. So a woman is praying and the child is disturbing her. Is she allowed to gesture to the child? Obviously, the child will come down if she goes like this, or something. Go take cereal from the refrigerator or something. So if no, so the idea is to gesture or just to say shush is allowed.
Oh, sure it's a lot.
Obviously, it's going to calm the child down, and she'll be able to continue praying with kavanah. We are allowing it.
Unless you're telling us.
Yes,
This
Rabbi?
is not while the child
If I pray in my classroom and my kids come up to me, does it count also? Can I still do it?
Yeah, same thing.
They're your children.
Yeah, that's what, I had a kid once call me when I was pregnant, called Laura, I love you. Laura, I
Aw.
love you. And I couldn't respond and I felt like the worst person ever. I was gonna say Laura. He's like, Laura, I love you. Laura, I love you. Yeah, so I like tapped his head. Nope.
Right. Number 13.
So it's even sadder.
Okay, we're reading number 13, ladies.
Which one are you at? 15?
If the child needs a more involved response, can the mother walk over and take care of the child's needs?
Yes.
When you say involved response, is it like he's about to walk the balcony? Or he's
Or they're bored.
throwing himself in the fire type of involved response?
Yes, the answer is
Yes.
that unless you walk over and take care of the child, you won't be able to concentrate, then you're allowed to walk over. Even though you're standing in front of the king, even though you're praying Shemona Esrei, however, since you're not going to be able to concentrate, we'll allow a mother to walk over. Number 14,
This is during Amidah, right?
doing Amidah.
Wait, I'm sorry, then do you restart it
Then
after
you
you
go
take-
back and continue from where you left off.
Oh.
Now you start from the beginning, from where you left off.
Only the dirty diaper you restart.
Number 14, we go to Anna.
What is the mother not allowed to do in this case?
Talk, thank you very much.
Really?
Now, we don't allow someone to talk.
Silence.
We only allow
Oh,
to
you can
gesture
say sh-
under the circumstances, even
Wait till you read number
it's even
15.
harder to allow, but talking we never allow unless there is pikuach nefesh,
Oh,
which means
this is actually very relevant.
danger to life.
Right?
Because I live with his parents now.
So does Yelena.
Number 15.
Number 15, who are we up to?
Oh, that's a good one.
Miss Novick.
A woman
Or
is in the
anyone for
middle
that matter.
of Shemona Esrei and her mother-in-law comes knocking on the door.
Is she allowed to walk over and open the door?
I would say no.
So this is a very touchy question. The answer is no, because kavod of Hashem is higher than kavod of any human being.
Okay, Rabbi, I have a question about that.
Well, if you were in the
Whatever, just say I was in the bathroom.
If your mother-in-law is going to say, oh my daughter-in-law is so religious, she doesn't even open the door for me, you tell her that you
Yeah, she doesn't know what you're
praying
doing.
Shemona Esrei.
Yeah.
So you remember that?
You have to say that.
Sorry,
out
Rabbi,
loud.
Okay.
I have a question about
Yes.
this. I know that technically we're saying that Kavod Hashem is greater than Kavod parents, but what about the when Abraham he stopped talking to Hashem to go visit the guests, to take care of the guests, I heard that was the basis for you can take care of guests first.
That
Or
was,
it's not a halach we're following, Abraham just kidding.
yeah. Just quickly to review that story, Abraham Avinu was on the third day of his Brit Milah, and Hashem came to visit him. And he was conversing with Hashem, all of a sudden he sees three strangers passing by. So Abraham Avinu interrupted his conversation with Hashem and ran to bring these guests into the house. And Chachamim say, Gedol ha'achnasat orchim, great is the receiving the guests in your home, yoter mi kabbalat pnei Shekhinah, more than even talking to Hashem, seeing Hashem. So over there, we say that you are actually doing chesed. In other words, you're receiving the guests. Over here, your mother could wait. And or she could come back. And I don't see this as a case of chesed necessarily.
But if it was a random
I
guest,
present it
you'd be
as a
allowed?
case. My presentation over here is a case of an important person coming to you to visit, but not so much chesed. Now,
I mean, you wouldn't know who it is because you said, Rabbi, that you shouldn't start. We said that we shouldn't start if you're gonna have a distraction throughout. So you're expecting somebody to come in the next.
I could have changed the question and say the President of the United States came.
I mean, you wouldn't know who it is
Or
because
the
you
king,
don't have.
and the halacha is the same.
Unless she's saying,
Hashem is
Somebody's
speaking.
banging on the door.
Correct.
Enjoy your senile.
Um,
You'll come in a few minutes.
Maybe you should get like
Now,
a do not disturb
it's
sign.
also true that even if you would have an opportunity to actually do chesed, you still cannot interrupt Shemona Esrei, because once Chachamim said that the halacha is not to interrupt Shemona Esrei from beginning to the end for no reason, then we're not allowed
Only
to do
the
it.
child. Only for the child because it's.
And only because that's going to only enhance your kavanah, allow you to continue praying.
If someone's banging for 10 minutes, no?
Oh, so that's a little bit
Could be
different.
a
Someone is banging and is disturbing you.
Police.
Let's change the question. They're not stopping.
Maybe
Or what if
This is
you-
your father-in-law.
Someone is bringing
Because he's
children.
very insistent.
Yes.
And he is banging non-stop.
Yes.
So now, the halacha is that
No.
you would be allowed to walk over, open the door, and
Why did
go
they
back
not
and pray.
respond?
Because then you just can't continue praying, you cannot concentrate. Yes?
What about like when you're sick and you're like sneezing and like you need a tissue or I feel like this has happened before. Or you're coughing and you need a drink of water, like you're not functioning, like you can't stand there anymore. Can you move
Right,
away?
right.
You keep coughing at the person next to you.
because think
I
about it.
don't see a very practical case.
Like you.
What would you be
Sneezing
missing?
and you need a tissue. You need to move, you need to get
Or
rid of
something
the
when
tissue.
your throat itches.
Everybody
and like
knows.
you need like a water or a cold. I feel like.
You have to try to wipe your nose with the
Oh.
skin.
Ew.
Not to move yet. Unless you really are not able to stand anymore, you're really not able to continue, you could move only then. But if you could take care of yourself in some way that you don't have to move away from that spot, you should.
What
first
about,
do
let's
that.
say if my phone is right here and the alarm goes off? Can I like reach over? I don't have to stop, I don't have to move, I don't have to do anything. I'll have to just reach over and stop it. Yeah, I can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
well, otherwise you can't
That's
concentrate.
going to show.
No, I'm home.
The alarm that happens.
But the alarm, my alarm,
You know, but the distractions are maybe more distracting for it to continue.
You're not gonna, you're gonna go,
It's not very, is this now changing the whole pajama thing of our So it's like you're creating this area in your home kabua. It's really gonna be like, I guess you guys can kind of associate like this is the base of Mikdash, like in our home. So then you could, if you picture it to that level, then you're going to be like, I gotta be dressed well.
Right.
I gotta have
Right.
nice shoes or
Makes everything so
barefoot.
much easier.
Maybe
Even leaves like clothes there.
Yeah, like
Now,
if
it's cool looking.
this is
Put
what
it
the
there,
shed
put it
is.
on, start dominating over there. It's a
Maybe,
great
and maybe like
idea.
a designated outfit for
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, just leave it there.
Yeah, and
Put
then
my
something
shoes,
you
put
can
it
go
on, put it- Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Wow. Yana just came up with a great idea, Rabbi.
Okay.
Yana just came up with a great idea. So let's say you make, because we're trying to figure out how to make this a lot easier for us. So let's say you make yourself a makom kavua. right? Let's say my makom kavua is right by that bookcase over there, right? So she's saying, why don't you just leave over there a skirt, a sweater, shoes, socks, a covering, and just leave it there for always, and then just put that on to do your davening.
Interesting, yes.
Tissues.
Cough drops.
So what would you say?
I like that idea. It makes it a lot easier. Like then I don't have to think, oh, it's like I'm going out and I have to get dressed. I know that I have clothes that are, maybe they're not as gorgeous as when I go out, but they're good. It's not like being in my pajamas.
Yeah.
That's a
I
big,
don't see
that's
why
a,
not. I
that,
don't see
yeah,
why
that's
not.
very good for me.
I think it's
That
really good.
works.
I think it's good.
I have to change it every couple of days.
Well, wearing it for like half an hour.
Right.
Get
Right,
away
it
with
really
for a
works.
while.
That idea's a good idea.
Or like one of those dresses that like just button up.
Something, yeah.
Okay, if you don't mind, I would like to go on. Move on to Yelena, question number 16.
Is a woman obligated to pray the Musaf prayer?
Musaf.
Yes.
No?
The answer is no.
I have this very spicy thing.
really?
I feel like
It's
it's
really
really,
a job, isn't it?
really good.
One second. Question.
Hasidish place. So it's
See it? How late? Till
On Shabbos and on holidays, there's like an additional.
the halacha
Prayer that
is
you add
you're allowed
after
to
Shabbos.
pray Musaf the whole day. Till it's Let's go on to Sapir, please. Next question.
Is a woman obligated to pray halal?
No.
I say halal without the bracha.
Of course. I was told to say halal without the bracha.
Okay, you could say without a bracha, but woman is not obligated for halal either.
Prayer.
No.
I
like saying halal.
different things.
Yeah, what's the
So on,
Even according to
on Rosh
Ashkenazi.
Chodesh, on the new month,
Wait, it's a special
there's like a
prayer?
whole fabulous stuff. It's such a
Besides-
fun davening
Yeah,
to
I
do, but
see
it's
it.
all singing.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I
It
love
doesn't
it.
say you're not allowed to, it just says you're not obligated.
right, I know, yeah.
Besides
I'm
for
not obligated for the other
halal on Pesach,
But I heard not.
Pesach at night.
I heard not only.
So
we're not
halal
allowed- we're
is
not allowed to make
on the new month?
Right.
Like every time
We're not allowed to,
Rosh
but
Chodesh,
even those times that we do make the bracha, for
it's not
example,
allowed to sing.
No,
on holidays,
It's really
we do
very
make the
nice.
Okay.
But you're not
Michael told me
obligated
that
to.
women are not supposed to make the bracha.
What's
now.
musaf mean?
We're not obligated to do
it's
it.
because of this halal.
Yeah.
What does the musaf mean on 16?
Oh, that's
What's
musaf.
musaf?
Musaf
So
is
no
the additional
bracha
prayer
for
after Shah.
If
No
you do
bracha.
say
On
halal,
Shabbat?
just without a bracha.
Here's chakras. Here's in her sitter.
I love halal. We all have like the same song. Like, we're singing together.
So,
I know, right?
Okay, we go to Isabella, number 18.
Is a woman
It's only on
obligated to
Shabbos.
pray Musaf on Rosh Hashanah and Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur and why? So the answer is yes, probably because of the why.
Yes, thank you very much. She's obligated, and the reason is because it's beseeching Hashem for forgiveness for the sins. These two tefillot, Musaf and Rosh Hashanah and Ne'ilah and Yom Kippur, are focusing on our relationship with Hashem, asking for forgiveness on the judgment day, and therefore every person is obligated. Yes.
I just have a general question. Will we cover in this class like Shabbat in shul, because I am constantly lost and never catch up, and I don't know what the organization is for like how services are to follow on Shabbat, or like when you're davening on your own, what are you supposed to do exactly? I know you're supposed to do shacharit and mincha, but like all of it, some of it, is there like, do you, if you're starting off, what do you start with on Shabbat? Are we gonna cover that, or that's like a separate question? I message you personally.
No,
That's
well,
it's a whole
I
class.
believe that we did cover it when we said for tefillah, the shacharit, the minimum is Baruch Shamar, Ashrei Yishtabach, 3 brachot before Shema and Shmoneh Esrei. Believe it or not, the same applies to Shabbat. There's no difference between weekday and Shabbat in that respect.
Shabbat prayer is the same.
It's true that Shabbat has a lot of
Because they
more
have a lot of
Tehillim
additions.
before, it has additions, but those additions are not obligatory.
Okay.
For women.
But
Even for men.
Musaf is only on Shabbat.
Okay.
If you daven Shabbat,
Shmoneh Esrei is different, man. It's still the Shmoneh Esrei.
And then the
And
shot.
they like, read the Torah.
Yes.
Here's the one.
I
It's-
wanna know about like benching. You're saying parmesan.
Okay,
What are
so for
the
Shabbat,
like
right?
for interruptions or shushing or in the middle like
I heard nothing, can't do anything.
because like what
So this
like
shop,
when I'm
right?
so I'm benching, right? And other people finish faster than me. Because I actually like
And he said
read.
that
And then when they're done, they talk.
then comes.
So I just want to say, Ms. Maushib, that halachot of Birkat Hamazon and brachot are coming up next few sessions. We're
Okay.
finishing brachot.
So we're gonna
Yes, we're going to discuss that separately.
Then
Okay.
you're done, right? If you
Number
finish one
19,
essay,
we go to
then you go, they do
Tanya.
the Torah reading.
Okay.
That's the portion.
If a
you-
woman prayed Shemana Esra and then realized that she didn't say Yela v'Yavo, is she obligated to repeat Shemana Esra?
The answer is yes.
There's a
Now,
special
there is a-
paragraph you add
Okay.
that on the Rosh
Special paragraph you add.
Yala v'Yava is a insertion that we add in Shemona Esrei on Rosh Chodesh, on holidays.
Well, holidays the whole.
Pesach is coming, we have it every single day of Pesach. So it's such important tefillah that if a person skipped it, he has to repeat Shemona Esrei.
Only on the holidays.
And the woman is not different than men in this respect.
And the answer is?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Yahweh there. How am I supposed to know that? Oh.
So this is the paragraph.
Okay, and number 20, we go to Yana, please.
You do regular shop, it's like always, right? The Baruch Shema, and all of those, the three. Then comes the Shema, then comes the Shema Esrei, right? Then they're done. And then Shabbat, they read the Torah. That's why you have to do it, that's why you lose it. It took me a long time. After they read the Torah, then they say Musaf, which is just Ashrei and Shema Esrei. That's all it is. And then you finish with Elena's always the end.
Thank you.
A Musaf is only Ashrei. So it's just Shema Esrei. Okay, that's another Shema Esrei.
Wait, let's do the last one.
Yeah, we're about to do the last question and then move to the next sheet. Question number 20, Yana, please.
If a woman forgot Yael v'Yavo in Birkat Hamazon, is she obligated to repeat Birkat Hamazon?
So over here, I put this halach in Birkat Hamazon because it differs from what halach before. In Birkat Hamazon is different. She doesn't have to repeat it.
So what does she do? She like what if she skipped that and she like at the end go back?
She was Yotzeh Birkat Hamazon, meaning she fulfilled her obligation even without Yala v'Yavo.
What about
But then, no.
Oh,
Yeah. And that is contingent, it depends on the fact that whether you have to eat bread on Yom Tov. So it seems that halacha is that a man must eat bread on Yom Tov, and therefore in Birkat Hamazon I say, but a woman is not obligated, she is obligated to enjoy Yom Tov, but to specifically eat bread, no.
I mean, for your sake, it's good for your.
Shabbat, yes, Shabbat, she's obligated to eat bread, lechem mishnah, and say Ritzei in Birkat Hamazon. But on Yom Tov, we don't say that she's obligated to eat bread. It depends on the special Gezerat HaKatuv, that the Shem says in the Torah, that women are not obligated to eat bread on Yom Tov. Okay.
But I said Rabbi Yakubov.
Any more questions so far? Should we give some discussion time? Should we work some things out? Yes.
You just said, you said something, women and bread, and this is just extra.
You're not
Yeah.
obligated.
It's not really important, but the reasoning why in the Amazon. If you didn't say Aliyah, we don't have to go back. It's because a woman is not obligated to eat bread on Yom Tov.
No, it's not.
You're not obligated
She's
to
not looking at Shabbat.
On Yom Tov. Only on Shabbat.
Why?
I didn't.
That's, the Torah says a woman is not obligated. She's obligated to have simcha, to enjoy Yom Tov, rejoice. But to specifically eat bread, the zayit of bread, no.
because we're watching our figures.
Rabbi, what if you're
And the Torah is the Torah's understanding of
I would say that.
very interesting?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm lost.
matzah is different. Matzah
Yeah, no,
is
like
different.
justification.
Matzah, one is obligated to matzah.
If someone really bread, you can't really worry about them. Or is
Not
it
you
so
can,
intuitive?
you're not,
that
obligated.
like,
One is not obligated, that's why
so.
Yalav is not mandatory.
I do, but, yeah.
Because you're not obligated to eat in the first place, that meal. Even if she ate, but she forgot Yalav, it's passable. She was Yosef, she fulfilled the obligation of
Kazais, what is it?
What about the perm or Hanukkah
That's it,
one?
fulfilled the obligation.
What about the perm or Hanukkah one?
Oh, but there's no Yalav, it's true. On Hanukkah, on Purim, is obligated to eat.
I know for matzah.
But there's no Yalav.
No,
It's
so
fine.
Cap was asking if you forget the
Al Nisim, everyone is not obligated to go back.
Rabbi,
Oh, okay.
we have an important question.
Yes.
Oh, no, we wanted, so how much, I know like there's like a measurement, yeah, how much bread is like considered, like, can you actually like?
Kazais, how much is that?
Like,
What is it?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
I never know.
The Zion is very simple. My Rabbi Rebelsky,
That's a great question.
held
Yeah.
that an olive, if you picture in your mind's eye a big olive, and if you eat that amount of matzah or bread, one has to say B'chat HaMazon.
What about a wrap?
Are you, Doctor, are you asking if the bracha is on motzi or
I
mizrach?
am, yeah.
He held that it was on motzi.
If you hold that wrap as a motzi?
Really?
So it's a motzi and then benching the whole thing?
Really?
But there's certain questions I
I
should
don't
know.
Wait, you have the ingredients or
What?
like we add apples?
You say the same thing. Every person says yes, I just don't have. You wash the wraps?
You don't have
What
to.
about pizza?
And then it's fine. I know.
What about
I'm pretty sure I asked my rabbi and he said
What about
I think they're doing something interesting.
Really, I have whole copy.
So one slice you make mizonot. This is different than wrap.
So one slice mazzone, two slices wash?
One slice of mizonot, two is you want.
See, I
So a sandwich.
I want
sandwich with a half wrap. So on one slice of bread, and then it's two slices of
What is
bread.
it?
Pizza, slice of pizza.
I don't follow that.
Listen,
Do you wash your pizza?
I watch the pizza.
That's a new one.
If it's a bread type.
You shouldn't tell him halacha, you should encourage him to ask him.
I think that's what it is. So like if I consider it a
Oh.
but if you don't, if you consider it a snack.
So here's,
No.
here's the thing. So I had two slices of pizza and I went to buy her and she didn't.
On granite, on tile,
If you're going to look
wood,
the entire
wood or carpet, no problem, no problem.
So I didn't eat the crust basically. And then she's like, okay, you can just say no, no.
The mat is also no. No. Okay, so not to hold us over time, I would like to present.
This wrap is hamotzi, this wrap?
This wrap that we just had? Oh, I didn't even know we had wraps, but.
Because I learned
Yeah.
There's one left for sample.
What about a half a wrap?
No, Rabbi, you're saying that a wrap is you have to wash. That's what
It's
you're
wash,
saying.
yes, yes.
Yeah, no, I just put it on the sandwich. Where'd you get them?
Don't I don't think it's also. Some people say, we don't know.
They don't?
We call it Russian
No, different places.
I don't know I have to think about it, but no regular wraps is.
Oh, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, a regular wrap, it makes sense that it's bread, it's hummus. But if it's like,
Okay, quick, I want to take one more question before we move on. Or we have an option. I want to put it out to you. I've worked very hard on Mrs. Mamashev's question. She asked me, how do we forge relationship with God? How do we feel connection to Him? And I researched and I came up with 10 steps to get close to Hashem. Now, we could leave it for next class, or we could go through this now.
Let's take a whole.
Brain. So in that case, I guess I'll collect this second paper because.
If you wrote on it already, I think you're allowed to keep it. I don't think it's like.
I'm responsible and it's
I don't think you're gonna like.
Yeah, I'll collect.
I need to get a folder.
I haven't been able to join class because, yeah, I haven't been able to. The timing just hasn't worked out. Maybe if you do another session or something.
This work for me. It's live class, yeah. It is, it really is amazing.
I like that you did it right after the men were having their own like little row.
So somebody put it in her.
Okay, so I think we had one question, we're gonna wrap it up. What was the question? Nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May everyone have a nechama, consolement from Hashem, those who are mourning this week. And great end of the week. Shabbat shalom.
Thanks, Rabbi. I have a hard time getting it.
There's two types, right?
Ideally, twice a week, 6 hours.
Does anyone want to take the Caesar salad home?
It's like giving you arm.
Okay.
Sunday, Thursday.
Small yellow ones that are like small pillows. That's for sure, Mr.
So like, even like Tuesday.
Or we have those that look like.
Yes, please.
I don't have the rest. I don't know, maybe Friday, Tuesday. I need like Tuesday after the whole other night. Like,
Example.
I'm sure you need it.
So it's interesting,
Everybody's so,
in
like,
the
unless.
catering and pizza shops, they toast their own stuff. They make, maybe they take the leftover stale bread, chop it up, and they put it in the oven, toast it, and then. So since it started out as bread, it remains on the.
So you have to wash on a Caesar salad?
Whatever it wants.
If yours made for the purpose, you know what's good?
It's on
So I have a door. You might want to ask everybody if they want to help. They're sitting Shiva here tomorrow. And it's on left all the Shiva stuff outside.
Bring it in.
Back there, Rabbi?
What?
Yeah.
Here's some kind of coupons. Oh, I'm returning your pen. It's yours, right?
So much
What
better.
about breadsticks?
That's plantain.
Breadsticks. Breadsticks.